In grade school, did you ever have to take a standardized test? A test that you had to spend 5 hours in a room for? A test that you had to spend all year practicing and working towards? Was it nerve-wracking? Were you put on a scale where you had to show how well you did and that would determine whether you went to the next grade or not? Well, that's what standardized testing is all about. Not only is standardized testing very pressurous, but it is also very nerve-wracking. I personally in 8th grade had to take the algebra test 4 different times, not because I didn't know what I was doing, because I was an A student in that class, but when it came to testing, I lost all my knowledge, and not only that, it was just so nerve-wracking that I didn't know what I was doing at that point. Whenever I took that test, I was always very nervous, not only to do the test, but I guess to see what the state would say whenever they did grade it. Whenever you talk about standardized tests, it's almost like an expectation versus reality thing. In an article by Michelle Ivy, she talked about the different tests and how reading and writing had an effect on her students because they did well in their classwork, but when it came to the test, they didn't do as well. It didn't show all their hard work and efforts in that test, but not only because it's nerve-wracking, but because of how they put us on the scale for the test. The test goes from commended to mastering or fail. Whenever you get your test results back, you often see either commended, mastered, or failed. Often of the time, you only see commended, which even for the state, that's not their favorite thing to see. Not only does it go with the students, but it also falls on the teachers. Standardized testing falls on our teachers because they are paid and they go through curriculum all year to help the students learn about the things that they need to know for the test so that they can prepare for the test and be able to pass at the end of the year. An article from Victor Lacey stated that now Texas and certain cities are changing teacher pay based on their standardized testing results. So if a class of 22, if 11 of them don't pass or don't get commended at least, her pay would be affected by that. And a lot of people already know that Texas teachers don't make much, so that doesn't help whenever their pay is going to be based on their results of tests, of their students' tests. The reasons why we should change is because not all students learn the same. I personally don't learn the same as my other classmates, and my other classmates probably don't learn the same as me. I can do great on paperwork, book work, things like that, but as soon as it comes to a test, it's just not my forte. Changing the test would help because the test shouldn't be so nerve-wracking and so based on it should be based on what a student knows, but it should be more of a milestone marker than this student is smart and this student is not. When it comes to these, we should follow a problem and solution. The problem would be that the people that grade the test in Texas often look at the students' papers and are just like, oh, they passed or they failed, but they should look at it as this student needs more work. Not so much as this student isn't smart or this student isn't getting it or this teacher is not doing enough, because it's not that. Some students just get so nervous during a test that it just doesn't work out for them. I'm not saying that we should get rid of STAR testing because I do feel like it has a good impact on students, but at the same time, I do feel like STAR testing is very, very nerve-wracking and it doesn't fulfill the purpose it's supposed to. It's a lot more of you know it or you don't. No student should have to be stressed, and we need to use more of our voices on the problem. So in conclusion, I feel as if we shouldn't get rid of the STAR test completely, but the STAR test should be used for a different purpose. Maybe as a milestone marker or things like that, but not for not to say that someone is smart, someone is not, because not all of us are great test takers and not all of us learn the same as each other. Thank you.